for win range, but still, just it'd be good to see what these runners have at their disposal is basically what I'm getting at.
And Uncle is telling us as we get started here, race you to the castle, which, you know, I don't know if the sewers count as the castle, but we might lose that one.
You know, I don't see the sewers as the castle, so I think that we're going to win this race. I don't think the Uncle made it there.
So 3 crystals. We have an early map check from Lewd. So 3 crystals. One of them, I think, was one of the red crystals up over in Eastern. If I remember, it was a real quick map check. But Slim, what are we hoping to see here from Uncle?
You know what? I'm going to go with Samaria today. Okay, it's a red item. It's something. It uses magic. That's fine.
Yeah, Fire Rod. It'll be a little bit interesting to farm for bombs, but otherwise it's not a bad item at all.
Definitely not. The one thing you have with Fire Rod is the guarantee that if you hit with it, your enemy is going down, no matter which enemy. So don't have to worry about getting those kills. But like you said, looking for those bomb drops, that's going to be one thing on the mind of our runners, and they may opt just to not even worry about it, just get through escape and come back later, because you don't want to waste too much of your magic.
Anyway, going through here, let's see how much farming these guys are going to be doing. We see Udai going ahead and killing a few enemies with pots while he can, not helping him though.
Yeah, some of the stuff you got to consider when you're kind of farming for those bombs is that all enemies are of a different price pack, or at least most of the enemies are. You have just the green guards, you have the green guards that have the daggers, you have the blue guards, you have the rats, you have the snakes. So just kind of being aware of your like different prize pools and stuff could kind of give you an edge. If there's like one prize pool that's not working for you, you could start looking at some of the other ones to see if maybe you'll get more luck with that prize pool.
And we're finding a bee in a bottle to start off. That's going to make Kakariko a little bit nicer. But still no bombs. Finding quite a few rupee drops, though. Lewd already was 71, and I think that's without any, like, rupees coming from treasure chest.
Yeah, that's right. Been getting really lucky with those rupee finds. Another good use for that bee in the bottle that we found is if we don't get a slightly more accurate and better weapon, we could just use the bee in Mini Moldorm Cave, for example, to kind of get rid of some of those pests that are in that cave.
We see Udai actually trying to save his fire rod shots using pot strats. It's slower, but it allows one more fire rod shot when you're already low on magic to farm a little bit more. That's an interesting tactic by Udai. Don't know. We'll see if it ends up paying off for him.
Yes, we will. But we are going to make our way back through the front of the castle now. Going to go to the back to the sewers section of the Hyrule Castle escape. Looking at our magic right now, I mean, we do have some pots in the back where we can restore that magic, but you know, don't have a lot of farming opportunities left. We do need to keep that magic for that one last key rat that's in the third to last room of the escape section.
Yeah, still a few small magic pots that they can pick up kind of on their way through the escape process, but otherwise... that's a nice find.
I would almost go wild with that now that you have... Oh, using the bee, too. Yeah, you could also use the bee to farm for some drops as well.
I mean, I kind of like using the bee here instead of Mini Moldorm, in part because you get more bang for your buck out of it.
That's true. Using your resources, it's a good thing to do in Randomizer.
More than that, I think it's a heads-up play because you're not used to having a bee in a bottle for access at any point in time through the escape. So yeah, it's kind of a heads-up play here by LewdDolphin, knowing what he has and making the adjustments on the fly.
And here we go. Going to use the bee in here in the snake room. Get a nice little magic drop. Nothing yet, it looks like. We're going to follow this bee until we get done. Got some more red rupees, but there goes the bee. We are done with that. There it is. Got one.
That's one bomb. And that is one bomb that Udai does not have. It'll be interesting to see if Udai actually picks something up in the meantime. But that's a pretty significant edge for LewdDolphin right now.
Oh, definitely. Because, yeah, it looks like Udai is not thinking about that bee he has. And that's going to be one advantage that Lewd's going to have with using that early. So definitely worked out for him.
Meanwhile, Udai's still farming for that bomb. Is taking his time here. I don't know if he's going to find it. That was just an amazing drop for Lewd. I mean, it's a lucky drop, absolutely, but... And the bow!
Oh, well, that's going to give him some extra options after he leaves here.
Yeah, you know, best case scenario for Udai is that something, you know, he ends up finding bombs quick or a lift upgrade to be able to come right back in. That bow is absolutely required for this particular seed. I mean, it's always required, but Eastern Palace being a 5/6 crystal and being accessible almost immediately, something you absolutely want to get as soon as possible.
One thing that I could see being really evil for this seed is what if Power Glove is on Armos? So because of that, you have to go through the front door of Escape again to get the bow to beat Armos or beat Eastern Palace.
Well, that would be a little bit cruel, but I like it. We're seeing Lewd do something here that we don't see a whole lot in this particular mode. He's going to start almost immediately with a Houlihan room check. This is a minor glitch that is allowed in this particular form of the randomizer. If you jump down and then fall into a room and your pixels are off in any capacity, you fall into this Houlihan room. It's kind of a safety room that was designed in this game because the developers, you know, wanted to program something halfway decent.
Yes, and for Randomizer, we like to use that room as a way to farm some rupees. Meanwhile, we do see a Lumberjack check on Udai's side, just a red rupee in the Lumberjack tree, so we are not going to be beating Aghanim for that particular item, but we still have loads of Dark World items to find, so Aghanim is not off the table yet, but for now, it's not going to be for that item.
Absolutely. So Lewd actually is doing an interesting route divergence here. He found that bow. He's putting it to work immediately. It looks like he went and bought bombs so he can dive the entire eastern area even before Kakariko. This is insane. This is not a play you see very frequently, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have the Fire Rod, you have a bow. You know, Eastern's not in logic right now because you're kind of expected to have the lamp. But with the Fire Rod, you can make those dark rooms a lot easier. So this is a very strong play by Lewd. It is going to be for a 5/6 crystal, so it's definitely going to be worth it for that. We also got some intel that there is a sword upgrade on Lake Hylia Island.
Absolutely. And Lewd, using the old Key Sanity strats, talking to Sahasrara to see where the green pendant is, and he tells us it is an ice palace. So that's some interesting logic at this point in time. Not anywhere close to going to Ice Palace at the moment, but just something to be aware of as we're going through here. Udai is going to give us our first look at Kakariko, and he finds a blue boomerang, a red boomerang, what? And then two little bits of love. So far, not a whole lot here, but we still have a long way to go in Kak.
Ooh, there's a good item in Kak, the hammer.
I mean, yeah, that's nice. Lewd did end up finding a lift upgrade, apparently. So, I mean, both runners are finding value here. It's been a long time since I've seen a route divergence this early.
Yeah, I'm guessing we got those gloves in Sahasrara's house then. Oh no! Udai taking a death from the bomb.
Oops. I mean, that's not something you want to see, and I'm sure he might be kicking himself a little bit. Yeah, there's some frustration dot slashes.
Yeah, frustration pumps. That sort of thing does happen sometimes because you're in Kakariko, what looks to be a very safe place. Sometimes you get hit by your own bombs. It happens to everyone.
I mean, it does happen to everyone, usually on purpose.
True for bomb jumps, of course. But.
All right, so you die with about a minute cost him. That wasn't too bad there in terms of what could possibly happen. And oh no, ice rod.
Oh, and Book of Medora inside Eastern. And
silvers. What?
Man, I've seen that bottle vendor have silvers way more than I'm comfortable with. He should not be holding on to very important items like that.
Oh, and you die getting the chicken clip. So it's interesting because of this early route divergence, both these runners have found amazing things that could really pull them in different directions. Udai getting the hammer and the ice rod and the silvers. I hope he picks up his bow before too long. That'll be great, and he'll be able to do Eastern maybe a little bit easier. Ether medallion also on Sick Kid.
Yeah, and LewdDolphin, I mean, at this point, if the items work out for him, he could be going straight to Desert and could potentially finish it at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, you'd like to see the boots, obviously, just to ensure that you're not boots locked. But yeah, this seed might be pointing hard at Desert right now, which is a crystal, so why not?
Definitely. Don't think we had anything of relevance at the library, so now Udai is going to check out the maze game, the race game over here.
You know, I'm a little bit interested. Lewd took time out to do Houlihan for those 225 rupees, but didn't go over and get any more rupees from that side room. And Udai, what? What is this seed, Slim?
I don't know. We got a lot of like really late game Dark World items right now, and it's. Man, this is shaping up. This could be a really quick one. Just again, there's still some items on the table. Obviously, we don't know the medallions for Dark World yet, but or the pendants and crystals for that matter. But still, we have a lot of things in our possession right now.
I mean, here's the interesting thing. Like, I still like LewdDolphin's play because Lewd will eventually end up going to Kakariko. But Udai also found value. I can easily see him being pulled away from Eastern because of the value that he's found. And we know that at least the first lift upgrade is there.
That's true. The thing is, if he doesn't get... Oh my gosh, Samario, why are you here?
Table flip. I'm done with this suit. I'm done.
This is insane. Anyway, Lewd does get his first crystal 14 minutes in. But as I was saying, like, Udai is going to... At some point when going through this like White World, if he does not find another lift upgrade, he's going to be pretty much sent over to the Eastern area. And, you know, it'll be unfortunate just with that bow placement because he'd probably check Eastern before going back to the sewers chest. But we'll just have to see what happens.
Now, one thing to note is that Bill do not technically have access to Death Mountain, which would be absolutely nice for Udai in particular, because and half magic. What?
Well, that's not a progression item. It's okay. We can breathe a little easier.
Udai does have access to East Death Mountain as soon as he can get up there logically. We'll need either a lift upgrade, which we know where it's at, and the lamp or the flute. Now, we haven't really found access at this point. Udai will give us our first look here at Mini Moldorm Cave. Meanwhile, LewdDolphin is kind of making the same play, still avoiding Cack, though. I mean, he's finding a lot of progression, so I'm sure he's thinking, hey, this is a great play.
Oh, yeah, you've got to be thinking that right now. Because, you know, he could be thinking, well, if Kakariko is a bust, I could be profiting from this. But unfortunately, there are a lot of items in Kakariko, too, so he's just going to be having a whole bunch of Christmases when he gets over there.
Udai finding all of them here.
Oh,
there's our lamp.
So in terms of what we know, in terms of what we know where things are, like Death Mountain is very close to being in the logic. Just our runners are missing one thing that the other has.
Yeah, so we're waiting for Udai to go ahead and get his access. Go over to the eastern area. Inside Eastern itself was just the book, I think.
Yes, I believe so. And of course, the Power Glove in Sashrala, but in Eastern by itself, it was just the book. And Lewd is going to be checking out Desert Palace now with that book. Again, just these different divergences from both runners are sending them both on different paths, and I love it. Like, this is why I love Randomizer, because, you know, you can't really say one runner really has an advantage over the other, because both runners have something that the other runner doesn't have.
Absolutely. And, you know, I love these sorts of non-standard plays like LewdDolphin is making. It makes it super interesting to commentate. It makes it super interesting to watch. And I'm sure as a runner, it gives you hope that if you make a crazy gamble that maybe if your execution isn't 100% top-notch like the top-tier runners, and there's what? No!
Ow.
No!
I don't get it. Why can't I get seeds like this?
So it is a boots-locked Desert Palace, but the boots are in Desert Palace, so...
Yeah. I guess it's not boots locked? I don't know. Terminology's weird.
I mean, the first thing you do is check to see, oh, that small key is there. There's no way that, and just dip out and not get the boots that are right there. I can't imagine anyone doing that, you know.
Yeah, and that's fair. Anyway, getting a hobo check right here. Just get a red rupee, so we are done with that. Gonna move on probably to the Zora area for Udai, and Lewd is going to be definitely finishing up the rest of Desert Palace here. Udai having a little trouble getting this fake flipper. He's a little too high here. Needs to go like down a few pixels, but decides to save and quit instead.
So Lewd is going to be having another crystal. I mean, he's already got one crystal that is in logic if he were to go, you know, to Mini Moldorm.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, he's going to have two crystals like around the 21, 22 minute mark, which is insane.
Yeah, and looks like Udai is coming over here to Eastern Palace. He is going to get the Power Glove at the very least, but unfortunately, he may go right into Eastern to check that out, and unfortunately the arrows are actually inside the last three chests of escape, so depending on what he does here, we're hoping he does save and quit after this, but we'll have to see.
Oh, Lewd, you just missed a full magic refill, which is kind of rare to have dropped. Would be absolutely nice to have just before you get ready to do land mow with Fire Rod. And Udai does save and quit after getting his glove upgrade, which is excellent.
Yeah, it's going to be very good for him. I can see him going to be checking the 3 chests immediately, and then when he sees those, he's going to be like, okay, well, thank God I didn't go into Eastern.
The other question, if you're Yuda, I mean, you get the bow. Do you pop safe? There's a possibility that you can go ahead and go right up Death Mountain right now, and that's a treasure trove, literally and figuratively.
How the seed's been going, I mean, yeah, it probably is a treasure trove right now, but yeah, that would be a good play at this point, because, you know, the dream is to combine both Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness at the same time. So, you know, taking a risk to go up there, finding your Dark World access and the mirror, that would make that dream a reality. So I can see him doing that, but it looks like he is going back to his house. And yeah, it looks like he's going to Eastern, so he will be kind of on the same track that Lewd's on, but with more items, because Lewd has still not been to Kakariko yet.
Yeah, between the hookshot and the silver arrows, Udai is going to have a little bit easier time through escape. He's also got the lamp, so he won't have to do dark rooms. Lewd is going to be picking everything up and saying, okay, I'm completely in logic, which is good, but Lewd still needs to get to Kakariko, which is not a phrase I think I'd say in a randomizer.
Especially 21 minutes into a randomizer. Like, this is fairly new to me, or this is new to me too. I've never seen this late of a Kakariko check. Another item that Udai actually has is he has the silver arrows, so the Armos fight will be also a lot faster for him as well.
Absolutely. So Lewd, speaking of, is going to have a faster check over here to the Ice Rod Cave. These boots just make it super easy if he doesn't jump in the water.
He's getting bodied by enemies, so it's not entirely his fault.
Sure, we'll blame the enemies. I mean, yeah, we will, but that's okay.
I'm blaming the enemies.
Now, it's interesting to know, both these runners do know where our first sword is, at least a sword, on that Lake Hylia Island, but we're a ways away from getting that. Still no Moon Pearl, which is a little bit interesting, and still no flippers, so that sword way out of logic at the moment.
I think we are going to finally get the Kakariko play, though, from LewdDolphin here, though. He has the boots, he's going to go over here, check Bonk Rocks, and you have to imagine that he's going to finally make the play over there to get hammer, hook shot, boomerang, silvers, ether, ice rod, everything that was there.
I mean, at this point, you know, finding the book, at this point, if you go to Kakariko and you see all that, despite being 2 crystals in at 23 minutes, do you feel behind? And he's not going!
Oh my gosh, he's going Death Mountain. You had your table flip moment earlier. I think my table flip moment is if the mirror's up here and you can actually do Hera without the hook shot or anything else.
Oh, that would be mean. We're still looking for that Moon Pearl, though, for our Dark World access.
That's true.
Udai is only looking for that, so it would be possible there.
Looks like we are getting the Lost Wood, so I think LewdDolphin is going to be going Kakariko next. But, you know, there is a huge possibility that Moon Pearl is more than likely going to be on Death Mountain. I can't really see any other place where it could be right now.
Well, I mean, there's always the possibility that we get a couple swords or a sword and a cape up on Death Mountain, which points us towards Aga, which, you know, as generous as this seed has been, I think these guys deserve.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's fair. You know, for their sakes, I hope they get like maybe some health upgrades, because, you know, having only 5 parts at this point is, you know, kind of low, and it's kind of low for Aghanim plays as well, especially with just green mail.
He's doing it again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say. Like, really.
Okay, we have the Death Mountain play now.
So you got to think that Lude thinks that Kakariko is empty because of everything he's found so far. He's like, no, there can't be anything in there. Like, there's just no way.
If only you knew. If only you knew, Lude.
But the only time that he's really going to sink into this is going to be one trip up Death Mountain, because he'll get up here, and if there's nothing up here, then he might be, he might end up being, okay, I'll finally go over here and check, the 18 treasure chests that I have access to.
If he wants to do anything else, the mirror has to be in here. Like, that's pretty much a guarantee. It has to be in here if he wants to do anything. Okay, just a bottle. Table staying firmly on the ground.
For the moment. So, Lude, okay, let's get some guesses in chat here. What kind of frustration are we going to be seeing from LewdDolphin? Because I think he's actually going to CAC now. What kind of frustration are we going to be seeing? Are we, like, he can't Rage Slash because he still doesn't have a sword, but bomb drops, fake slashes, fire rod shots, something.
I mean, it's possible we'll see something. I don't know. I mean, he seems like, again, as we mentioned before, it's not like he hasn't been rewarded for making this play. He's gotten a lot of items here, so he can't be too disappointed if he does find when he does find like the hammer and the hook shot and stuff.
And Udai is actually making the play over to Desert, which, I mean, is the right play. It's another crystal. Oh, Lude finds the hammer, and he's like, okay, so that's something. That's a thing.
Now it's going to jump down in here for the ice rod, I believe.
Yep, that ice rod. Did we get a peek at the ledge, or was it just nothing when Lude went over there?
I honestly do not remember. I'm assuming it was nothing. That seems like a place that you would not want to bypass, but I suppose it's possible that they could. But I did not remember or see what it was. Chad is saying a big 20. I am going to believe that.
Yep, I'd buy that.
There's like 38 of them or something in randomizers. Did they,
There's something ridiculous. There's a lot of them.
Hi, Boots.
And Lude's about to pick up his ether, so he's feeling pretty good about things right now until he finds that hook shot. And then he might be thinking, oh, I should have come here first. That hook shot is the key to the east side of Death Mountain right now, so as soon as he sees it, he's going to know maybe there was a misroute here. But he's still got to be happy with his decisions up to this point in time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, he's found other things where he's gone, and he's going to be on his way to potentially his third crystal at around 30 minutes, which, you can't really complain about that too much.
No, you really can't. And yeah, for I think we have a couple of new players or new people in chat. So if you want to, we have a website with all the rules. Go ahead and set up and join our Discord server. Hang out with us. This is one of the most welcoming communities online. We're always willing to help you. Just load up a seed and have fun. We'll help you.
For sure, and another thing to keep in mind is we had over 500 people sign up for this Swiss stage of the tournament, and a lot of those players there were a lot of new faces to the community. So even like newer runners and newer players got to participate in this tournament. And, you know, there have been a lot of surprises in this tournament alone. So, you know, there's a huge, strong community here. We're always willing to help, always willing to talk through things. And it's been a lot of fun. So definitely come on by if you're interested.
All right, so here's our first look at Death Mountain. We see a lot of love and a little bit of love. Is all you need is love?
The Beatles seem to think so.
I tend to agree, but I think these runners will disagree. We are still quite a ways away from everything you need.
Got 5 locations here, though. Let's see, we got a heart piece. There's the flute. Not really progression right now, though.
No, but it's nice to see. And if you happen to sequence break coming up here without the lamp, you would absolutely know 100% that the lamp was your access to Death Mountain. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 ways up to Death Mountain, logically: lamp and flute.
That is correct. Well, lamp and power gloves, and then flute. But yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, yeah, details.
Let's see, on the Death Mountain Floating Isle, we have the powder.
Oh, fetch quests.
Looks like Lewd is going to be heading over to Tower of Hera first. Actually curious, are we going to get an ether tablet check? Yes, we are. Now, we cannot get this item yet. We need at least the Master Sword before we can get this. But with just the book, we can see what's on here at least. And I believe that is... Was that Cape or Verna?
I think that's Cape. Use this to become invincible. I think... I want to say that's Cape.
Yeah, it's... I mean, both items make you become invincible, so... Okay, chat's saying Cape, yeah. Or now I'm seeing multiple answers.
I am going to trust the man, the myth, the legend, Zelgadesian, saying that's Brian, which, you know, it's one of 2 possibilities.
Okay.
Oh, invincible is Brian, invisible is Cape. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that definitely does. It's a hard call to make because technically they both make you invincible. You can't be hurt when you have either items, but yeah, I guess invisible would be more accurate for the cape anyway.
So Udai checking Bonk Rocks here before. I'm sure he makes a similar play up here to Death Mountain. Lewd going to be using hookshot strats and Vanilla Pearl.
Vanilla Moon Pearl. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, our Dark World access. 33 minutes into the seed. But it hasn't exactly been a delayed Dark World access because we've been doing things in the Light World. We have the 3rd dungeon almost completed. We almost have 3 crystals for both runners. So this has not been without progress.
Oh, absolutely not. And we have a ton of access to everything, although worth noting that if you are one of those runners who absolutely must have a sword, this would not be your seed, despite the fact that you're really going pretty fast and have cleared 3 dungeons, even without a sword.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Okay, so I'm actually... Well, let's see. Okay, going back in, I guess we have not gotten all the items yet.
Oh, so we gotta take a dip down into the basement. And Lewd gets his coffee break. My goodness, does he already have? He already has 10 hearts.
He does, yeah. In fact, I'm actually kind of surprised he's not taking at least a little bit of damage, so he can maybe take a Death Warp out of here, because we still have to check Spiral Cave, and... You know,
Yeah, there it is, yep.
Okay, he's good. It's almost like LewdDolphin was reading my mind right there.
Almost. And just a big 300. So now he's going to take his Death Warp from these red skeletons, which are more annoying than anything. They only do a half heart even with green mail, but...
Yeah, they're annoying to destroy because they jump around whenever you try to kill them, and they're also annoying to Death Warp too. So, just really, really annoying enemies.
All right, so we're going to see our Spiral Cave check here. It's going to be a nice Spiral Cave. We can dash around, although we can't poke anything as we're dashing, so careful?
Yeah, at least we have the hook shot, though. The hook shot can one-shot all enemies in here, so at the very least you can, you know, start and stop a little bit, but you can still get through pretty quickly.
Starting and stopping. This is horrible gas mileage.
Ooh, okay. Not a required item, but good to kind of get started with the Dark World with.
Yeah, in particular, when you're looking at getting ready to have to do going into the Dark World, even though you have 10 hearts, having green mail to have the damage absolutely is beneficial.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. Before we are going into the Dark World, though, Lewd is going to activate his flutes.
Udai is actually opting to do Spiral Cave before Tower of Hera. I don't think this is necessarily routed optimally, but he'll have that nice surprise. He'll have blue mail through all of Tower of Hera once he goes up there.
You know, it could be just another case of like the runner like thinking of a million different other scenarios in their head while they're going through this. Because sometimes there's a case where you might get enough items to maybe check out Spike Cave right after Hera, and because of that, you might want to check that, but then you'll leave one of the other locations behind. So it could be thinking of it from those lines, but you'll never know for sure. Randomizer runners have a lot to think about when they go through these seeds.
That they do. We see our first Dark World map check. We see Mire, Ice Palace, and Thieves Town as our 3 pendants. So, by the way, we also have full access to Palace of Darkness. So while you're here, why not start with Palace of Darkness? It's pretty dense. You got everything to go ahead and clear it. Might as well.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. And like I said before, like it's honestly the dream to try to combine Palace of Darkness with Eastern Palace. But since we couldn't do that, you know, may as well take care of this first, and then just kind of make sure you never have to come back to the eastern side of Dark World ever again.
So with those, we're seeing, you know, Turtle Rock is going to be a crystal, but we've almost got everything we need. We're just a Titansmith away from being able to go ahead and complete Turtle Rock as well. We need flippers for Swamp Palace. We need, oh my,
Mirror for Swamp Palace as well.
Yeah, so mirror and Titansmiths. That's and flippers. That's all we need.
Mirror, Titansmiths, flippers. Gonna need to get a sword at some point, and you know, Turtle Rock could always be a different medallion as well.
Okay, that's fair.
But still, I mean, we know where a sword is. We could get a mirror not too long from now, and we can get that sword. So that'd be 2. You could kind of cross off the list right there. Flippers can't be in too many places since 2 dungeons are blocked by its requirement. And you know, we may have the medallions, so you know we could be closer than you think.
With how friendly this seat has been up to this point in time, you know, I don't necessarily blame Udai. Not happy with that Vanilla Moon Pearl, but, you know, he'll get over it.
it is kind of annoying when the one item that opens up like a huge part of the game is like in the furthest, or in this case, the highest point away from like everything else you've looked at. So it's like you've kind of been building up for that one discovery, but that's the way Randomizer works sometimes.
Oh, Lude trying to do the dash strats where you bonk off this wall to jump back over to the other ledge. Didn't quite get there, though.
Huh, I actually didn't know the boomerang could go all the way through there. I thought the hitbox was too big, it'd hit the wall or something.
You know, I think I thought the same thing.
But I'm not too surprised. These rando runners try everything. They know everything, so, you know, they clearly know way more than I do coming into this from a kind of a more casual perspective.
Lude trading a key for a key. It's a good check, kind of no matter what you do. Udai was trying to set up the coffee break with blue boomerang and instead using the cane.
So a bit of a late coffee break, but a coffee break nonetheless.
It's a quick coffee break. You were late back to your break, so get back to it.
Anyway, we've not found anything too big in pod yet, but we've kind of been taking out the preliminary key checks. So we have a lot of keys now. We're going to be running into items like one right after the other. So keep your eyes peeled. We might find some progression in these next few chests here.
Yeah, I think we only have one more key if I'm counting my keys correctly.
That is correct.
Udai doesn't quite know where he wants to go.
So again, you have everything at your disposal now to get to the Dark World. It's kind of hard to think, okay, where do I start? Where do I start with this? Lude chose to go to Palace of Darkness, which was a very good play. And Udai looks like he's going to be going to the spot down here to check Hype Cave and a few other locations, as we do find the Quake Medallion and the Flippers inside Palace of Darkness.
Oh, that's nice. Udai is going to be checking Hype Cave, so get your guesses in chat. Is it going to be Hype? Is it going to be Dud? It feels like it's got to be Dud. There's not a whole lot we can have left.
I'm going to say Dud in this case.
Oh, Lude's got to be careful. He's already only at half a heart. I think he's trying to set up a death warp, but man, he's close.
Ooh, and switching to the hammer there, but does get through just fine.
Red mail, small heart, arrow upgrade, and yeah, so 2 of 10 hype index.
I'll go up to 3, but yeah, nothing too impressive. Didn't get any progression from that.
Nope, unfortunately. Lude takes the death warp and is going to be on his way back to Helmasaur King.
It looks like Udai is going to be kind of prioritizing a little bit of overworld here before, you know, jumping straight back in the dungeons, which I can understand. I've heard a lot of people remark that version 29 seems to be kind of a very overworld heavy version of the logic, where it just seems like there's more weight to overworld than dungeons. But I don't know. I still find that there's still quite a bit of dungeon progression as well. If anything, it's more even, I'd say.
I think when you look at the pure numbers of it, it's absolutely more even. There might just be more confirmation bias. It feels like there's more that's in the overworld because there's more than where there used to be after that rebalancing.
Yeah, exactly. That's very true. That's more probably what it's like.
And Udai doesn't find anything in the overworld, so we'll be saving and quitting. Meanwhile, Lude is on his way back to Helmasaur King.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing kind of more of a traditional, like early Dark World routing from Udai, while Lewd is kind of, prioritizing dungeons at the moment. Because yeah, usually when you get to Dark World, you kind of want to get Hype Cave out of the way. It has a lot of items, and then kind of work your way to Village of Outcasts and check some of those other locations. While Udai has been kind of, while Lewd has been doing dungeons, like I said earlier.
Well, Lewd seems to be following kind of the time-honored tradition of if you can complete a crystal dungeon, you do a crystal dungeon. Don't even bother with overworld checks, which has paid off for runners in this tournament. It's also come back to bite them in the butt in the past. So it's
Definitely
just a matter of what your priorities are as a runner.
Oh, for sure, definitely. Anyway, Helmasaur goes down. What do we have as our final item in Eastern Palace? We have the compass. That is not important. Why did I hype that up?
I mean, I think we've all done that at some point. Hyping up something that could be, and it's like a single rupee or whatever.
Plus with Pod, it's so hard because you're opening so many chests, so you almost kind of forget about the compass and map.
So Udai checking King Scam with just a piece of heart.
Now Lewd's going to be kind of doing those early Dark World checks that Udai actually has already done. So, in a sense, I guess you could say Udai is kind of not really ahead because Lewd has all of House of Darkness done now, but at least in terms of this current movement, he's going to be seeing the items before Lewd will be getting them.
And yeah, I think this is going to be Udai's first time over here activating his flute. So Lewd in Hype Cave.
So we still don't have a sword, by the way.
I mean, as generous as this has been, it's starting to get a little bit concerning that you don't have a sword.
Because yeah, without that sword, one dungeon we cannot do is the dungeon that Udai is actually fairly close to right now. Skull Woods. Need at least one sword upgrade to get to the back where Mothula is hiding. So we'll be unable to finish this dungeon. It is a 5/6 crystal too, so that's definitely, I'm sure, in his mind at this point.
Oh, Udai is actually on his way up to do a pedestal check, it looks like. Got that book and says,
Okay.
I want to know.
We'll have to see here. What do we got?
Well, let's see.
Okay. Just love.
Just a little bit of love.
I like to think Udai was thinking, I don't need 3 pendants to pull this, and just tries to pull it out, but then it doesn't work. So one thing we're going to be seeing from LewdDolphin's side is, well, we've seen Hobo from Udai already, but we have not seen the Waterfall Fairy Cave yet, I'm pretty sure.
No, we haven't, and Lewd's going to be able to check that for us. You could have fake flippered for it, but that is something that Lewd will be checking for us, I imagine, here directly.
Meanwhile, nothing from the chess game in Village of Outcasts, and not going into Thieves Town quite yet. Gonna see if maybe he can draw a sword upgrade or something before going in there.
I mean, you can complete it, absolutely. You can even use Cane of Samaria strats, which would be a nice little thing that you can do here.
Definitely. The main problem, though, is getting through Thieves Town is really, really hard without a sword upgrade, just because you want to kind of dash through a lot of enemies, and you just can't do that when you don't have a sword upgrade. And it just also just makes the blind fight a lot more consistent, and you know, don't have to worry about keeping your distance all the time.
You know, meanwhile, LewdDolphin showed us just a bunch of rupees up in Pyramid Waterfall Ferry, but Udai finds a French vanilla Titansmith.
That's right, not in that chest, but you definitely find that in vanilla in the big chest in this dungeon, so pretty close to home here.
And that unlocks quite a bit. So this is one of those instances where a pendant dungeon at least has one little bit of progression for us.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the question: if you're Udai, depending on what you find in these other two chests, do you keep going? There's our second item.
I say if you get a third item here, you don't? Okay, maybe keep going a little bit longer.
He's keeping on going. So yeah, you already know Udai did do a pedestal check. He does know that it's not necessarily required. So, and it's not the green pendant. So I think as soon as you get the fourth item, you nope out.
Yeah. It'd be nice to have the mirror to do that, but in Rando you can't always get what you want, so...
You're right, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you might find that you get what you need.
That's true, yeah, that's also very true.
Didn't quite get that pixel there in the Hellway.
And here we come to a room that can be really, really irritating without a sword, but at least he has a hook shot to work with. You normally want to dash through these rooms, but sometimes without a sword it can be really risky to do that, because those little bug things do a lot of damage.
They have a special name, but I just call them like grasshoppers of doom.
Yeah.
You guys got to be careful here. 1.5 hearts. Working his way slowly. Did we find a third item?
I do not remember now. I don't think we did. If it was nothing important.
All right, so kind of a moment of truth here. We'll see what we end up finding from our wonderful friend, Blind. Small key. So we're going to at least check this last item, this last chest. So we're a compass and 1 item away.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's right. It was a big heart in the third chest. I do remember seeing that, so I just blanked on it. Compass, blind as the item.
That stinks. Meanwhile, LewdDolphin also looks like he's going to go ahead and continue through here with only 2 items. Man, Udai's got to be... Oh, Udai still got his B.
He does, yeah.
There's an interesting strat that you can use here with the bee, that if you let it escape, it will actually chase off one of the blind's heads.
Does have to be careful. Seems to be relying on hammer here as opposed to Canisamaria. Ooh, and does take the death right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, taking the death. You know what? He was going in with only like 3 hearts anyway,
Yeah.
so. And he's debating, and he's like, "No, I'm done."
Okay, so thankfully, like, of all the chests or the items to leave behind, that's not the worst one. Lion's really not too far away from the beginning of the dungeon, so if you do find that you need to check that item, you can pop back in really quick. But if Lewd goes through all of this and finishes the dungeon, that's something important. That could definitely give him a even further advantage than what he already has at the moment.
And here's the interesting thing for Udai right here. In order to do the item dash that you see people do so often in the randomizer, you do need your sword. So despite having both the hammer and the boots, Udai is going to have to do this the old-fashioned way.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, it looks like Udai is going to be doing the frog side quest now. Does not have a mirror, so they're going to have to save and quit to bring him back manually.
He does have the flute. Oh, he's taken him on a world tour that he's never been on before. I don't actually know if you can take him into these caves.
I don't think you can. I think it's basically places that have like multiple entrances and exits. I don't think you can take the blacksmith or frog through them.
That's not going to be good for Udai once he finds that out.
Now, if you wanted to, you could take him to Spike Cave, but unfortunately, he's already come on this side of the mountain, so that's not going to be happening.
Yeah, it's his routing here. You get the feeling, the sense that maybe he's never done this and just kind of hoping that he can do this.
Oh, well, there's the shop, though. Okay, that's not a single. That's a single entrance cave. There we go.
Yep. Can't you take me someplace nice? And here comes the save and quit. Meanwhile, we see LewdDolphin doing Canis Amari's strats over here. We're not going to get to see the B strats because he did burn the B already.
It is always nice to see the Canis Amaria blind fight, though. It can be kind of fun, just having to block and detonate it whenever you need to.
And there we go, Lewd with the slow fight. And it looks like it paid off for Udai to back out. Nothing in progression there.
That's true. So he is going to be saving some time, but again, you know, when it comes to item randomizers like this, if you leave a location behind, it's going to be consuming your mind for the rest of the seed. So even though he doesn't need that, he's going to be thinking that it is something later on down the line if he does not find the right items he needs.
Don't know what Udai was looking at there. You've got all the necessary things in Light World. Lewd looks like he's going to be making a trek. He's not going to that South Jeremiah loop. He's actually coming up here to Dark Death Mountain, which is a nice 7 items for him between the Super Bunny Cave, Hookshot Cave. Well, 8 items because he can also go ahead and get the magic powder that's up here that we know about as well.
That's right. I really like this play. I think this is exactly what Udai was thinking as well. This is just a great way to kind of get a couple of items under your belt, get some intel on what you might need to complete the seed as far as like the Turtle Rock Medallion is concerned. And that is one of our crystal dungeons too, so it's really important we're getting that information here. And just kind of having a better idea of what you're working with for the rest of the seed.
Meanwhile, we're here in Super Bunny Cave. We're going to see LewdDolphin pick up Small Heart and 300 groups. We are wealthy beyond imagination right now.
Next, it looks like he's going to be taking a trip into Hookshot Cave. So we're going to get 4 more chests in here. Technically, get the powder. Oh, no, we can't. He doesn't. No mirror. Never mind. Just
Oh,
use the
yeah.
items. We could get the mirror in here.
You could get the mirror. Also, if he finds a sword and Ether or Quake ends up being our Turtle Rock access, he can go ahead and do Turtle Rock as well.
That's true. No items in Hookshot Cave.
So really, no progression at all. We still have Spike Cave that we can go ahead and do. And here's our intel on Turtle Rock. It's Bombos.
The one medallion we don't have yet. We haven't seen yet.
That's actually probably a good sign at this point in time, because if it's something that you have, you're worried that you have to go find a sword and then you have to come back up to dip Turtle Rock. So
Right.
it's probably a good sign that it's not there.
Yeah, it's definitely the dungeon you want to do last, just because it's very close proximity to Ganon's Tower. But we're going to get another medallion check right here in the form of the Meyer medallion. Meyer is a pendant dungeon, and was that also Bombos, or did I not see
I believe that was also Bombos. You know, I don't know why, this might be confirmation bias, but a majority of the seeds I've been seeing have had the same medallion for both Turtle Rock and Misery Mire.
And with that, because we don't have a sword, we don't have the medallion or a sword upgrade, even if we did have the right medallion, so we are once again looking for progression elsewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to Ice Palace.
I mean, it's the logical play right now. You can't do Swamp. You can't do Skull Woods. You can't dip into Mire or Turtle Rock. One place left to go.
Looks like Udai might be checking Skull Woods here, though, which, you know, it's one of those locations that doesn't take too long to check when you kind of start your early Dark World routing, because it is only 2 items in the dungeon, and if you can't complete the dungeon, at least you can get those 2 items and maybe just get some progression that'll lead to what you need to complete Skull Woods. But, you know, if this ends up being something, that could help Udai get into this a little more.
Well, keep in mind, Udai also has not even stepped foot in Palace of Darkness yet. So, I mean, even though it seems like they're just a route divergence away at the moment, that Lewd's got a full dungeon lead on him that Lewd will not even have to touch again.
Yeah, that is very true.
Oh, Lewd. That was very rude of that bomb to knock you back away right as it was coming through.
And you know, after thinking about it, I don't think we've seen like the pyramid check. We have not seen the catfish check either. So, you know, there are some other things that Udai could check around that area as well for Palace of Darkness.
Yeah. King's Tomb would be another good one at this point.
Oh, that's true.
So Udai ends up finding nothing in Skull Woods.
Nope.
And this is really interesting. A lot of people end up setting up this bomb jump using various strats, but there's a significant number of people who use the width of the sword to line up this particular bomb jump. When you don't have a sword, that becomes a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that sword is the way I honestly set up my bomb jumps, so I would not know what to do in that case, so props to Lewd for figuring that out. Still looking for one more item in Skull Woods, and there is actually another chest that is available to us. It's the very first chest in the last section of the dungeon. The only thing is we cannot complete that section of the dungeon yet, so this is kind of an out-of-the-way check for Yuta, but if this is a sword upgrade, he could finish Skull Woods.
I mean, this could be our entire progression, and what Lewd is doing is a gigantic waste of time. We don't know yet. It's entirely possible. Unlikely, because, I mean, the percentage play is with Lewd right now. But if something's here, this could be significant for Udai.
Like, I can see it right now. Sword upgrade in here to finish this dungeon, get Pyramid Fairy, which could lead to Mirror and Bombos. And, you know, that's a second sword upgrade we get from that. Or it could just be the map and ruin that whole plan, so never mind.
Because if this randomizer is good at anything, it's ruining our plans.
Yeah, a little bit. Still have not found anything in Ice Palace yet either.
Well, it's completable right now, and I'm worried that Sahasrara might have something there because it is our green pendant.
He very well could, which means the seed is giving us a nice little no sword cold stare fight to progress in this particular seed.
And here we thought this seed started out as being amazing and awesome, and why can't we get seeds like this? And, oh my, oh no.
Well, mushroom, that could lead to not only an item at Witches, but we could also do the fake powder glitch as well.
I have a quick question for you, Mr. Slim Kirby.
What is that question?
Do you want to do a fetch quest?
I mean, we kind of have to, so yeah, sure, I'm up for it. Yeah, we still have some other stuff to check, though. That is 2 items for Ice Palace, though, I believe. Or actually, maybe not. I think he's going straight down. Maybe he's gotten all the items.
Yeah, it might be.
Looks like Udai is finally heading in the direction he needs to go to. He is going to be heading to Palace of Darkness. He's going to be checking the... Yep, okay, he's going to be checking some of the areas around Pod first. Or not, never mind. Going straight to Pod.
Hammer Strats Cold Stare. He's doing very, very well, actually, all things said. Was able to use Fire Rod here, and there we go.
Yeah, it does help when you have half magic. You can get a lot of those Cold Stare puffs out of the way, and we do get our green pendant. Ice Palace did not have our progression, but we do have a green pendant to turn in and a mushroom to turn in, so that's looking like that might be our progression here. But we still have a few other locations. Pyramid's still on the table. Still got Catfish. Did Udai ever stop in the King's Tomb?
Nope, Udai did not stop in King's Tomb. So the problem is that you have a couple locations one location in the light world, and the rest are in dark world, or 2 in light, 2 in dark. So it's kind of hard to route all these together.
Yeah. Also got Spike Cave. It'd be a long walk, but there's also the purple chest as well.
Oh man, that is absolutely a possibility. I don't want to think about that one.
Ooh, Grandfather Sahasrara only has a piece of heart, so...
Yeah, that Ice Palace, a gigantic waste of time for LewdDolphin, unfortunately.
Is going to be doing some fake powder here, though.
I mean, this is a good play right at the moment. Right before you end up having to do it, we know where the powder is. We know the mirror's not going to be here, at the very least.
Yeah, the way this works is when you have an empty magic meter, if you use the Cane of Samaria and you hear that little sound, while that sound is going on, switch to the mushroom and use it, and it'll actually act like you're using powder. because it occupies the same spot on the item screen, could bypass the powder requirement entirely. But in this particular seed, that will not matter. We only get a red rupee, so powder did not lead to anything.
So now he is likely fluting away and will be turning in his mushroom. At the same time, looks like he's going to be setting up, purchasing, refilling all of his bottles while he's there, which is nice.
Okay, so here's the million-dollar question. Was Ice Palace a complete bust? Yes.
Yes. Insultingly so.
Terribly useless Ice Palace.
Ah, okay. So, LewdDolphin, where do you check? I mean, King's Tomb is right over here.
Okay, King's Tomb, Spike Cave, Purple Chest, Pyramid, Catfish. Which one is it going to be?
It's something overworld, which you get the sense Lewd has absolutely prioritized dungeons. So you get the sense that he might not be as comfortable with these overworld checks, or at least doesn't like it. Might think he's even behind.
I think at this point, I'd say he still has a bit of a lead, because he has so many other dungeon locations checked right now than Udai. But, you know, if Udai finishes this up, and if our progression is at Pyramid or something, that'll be a lot of stuff Udai may not end up checking if he just goes right to Pyramid afterwards.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if I would necessarily... I absolutely agree that Lewd definitely has a strong advantage right now, but I can absolutely see how he would think he's behind because of that Ice Palace dip.
Yeah, you never want to dip into a pendant dungeon and then just not be rewarded for it after the fact. If your opponent doesn't check anything there, then yeah, you definitely feel behind.
There are the flippers. Udai's absolutely happy to see that, although it doesn't necessarily lead to anything right at the moment. Still waiting on that mirror to get into Swamp Palace.
Chat does bring up a good point. Spike Cave, I think, is technically not within logic at this point, because we don't have any invincible items yet, so progression might not be there, but you know, there could always be something there, or maybe like Cape will lead us there or something like that.
And Udai taking a death there in the dark rooms. He tried to save himself a little bit and did not quite do that. Rounded a corner and got hit with one of those mini fire monster, whatever they are.
Yeah, it's because he is going to have to walk all the way back here to check these.
Lewd missing that bomb jump a couple times. I get the sense he might be a little bit tilted right at the moment.
And I can completely understand that feeling too, especially after just dipping all of Ice Palace. This is also, again, we talked about, some runners will check Skullwoods when they first come to Dark World, so could be thinking that that item he needs is in here, but that is not the case. But that's also going to be another time sink he's going to have, so he's going to be really wanting to find what he needs immediately.
Absolutely. And looks like he's setting up a death warp here as well, taking enough damage to go ahead and refill his hearts and get back to the start of this dungeon.
Yep. And he is not going to bother checking that last chest that's in the first side of Mothula's chamber, which is a good call. We know that is going to be the map of this dungeon, so going to be saving some time by not checking that.
Oh, this might be our first check up here into the northern section of Dark Hyrule. See what's on Bumper Cave, at least. And we know we've gotten a check into King's Tomb, I believe, but can't even check. Oh, and another sword.
Another sword that we cannot get yet because it's blocked by another item.
This seed is mean. It's completely mean. And that would be even worse. I mean, we found out that Berna was on one of the particular tablets. Man, if that would have been Master Sword required to get...
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like we are going to be starting to see some of these overworld fetch quest checks from Lewd. Might see what's going to be at Purple Chest after all this is said and done. Meanwhile, Yudai is heading to the back of Palace of Darkness, and I'm really curious to see what he's going to do after this particular play, because that'll definitely, I think, change up a huge dynamic of this game if Lewd does not find something at Purple Chest.
Where else could it be if it's not at Purple Chest?
Pyramid, Catfish.
Oh, and that's it, yeah.
Because right now we have 2 items blocking both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. We need a sword and the right medallion. We can't get there. Can't get in this Swamp House without that mirror. Can't see the final item in Skullwoods without a sword. So there's just so much we have to look at still, but it's being blocked by 1 or 2 items.
We were so happy with how this seed was going for us early on.
Yeah, I know, right?
So Lewd looking like he's getting ready to do, yeah, these hammer pegs and then Purple Chest. Yudai, after he finishes up here, could very, very easily do a pyramid and catfish check just right. He's in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think this would be the time to do that. The thing is, he has, even though it's the wrong play completely, like, he still has all of Ice Palace on the menu, so hopefully he doesn't see that and think, well, maybe it's there. Like, for his sake, I hope he kind of sticks with Overworld for a little bit.
Meanwhile, we're getting our check over here. Purple Chest. What's in Gary's lunchbox? Nope.
Nothing.
No, don't say it.
Ooh.
Yudai, man.
Ooh, this could be a little scary depending on where he goes. He is going south. He might just be warping from down here. He might think it's faster, but we'll see. Okay, he is going this way. That's good.
Oh, and Lewd's right here as well. We'll see. It looks like he's making the play on Pyramid and Catfish.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a bit of a race again. Like, I mean, it's always been a race, but, like, they're literally, like, not far from each other at this time.
No, I mean, and that's the difference, really, of dipping all of Ice Palace is. What are you doing, Yudai?
Wait, okay. Hold on. Okay, he's good. Was thinking for a second. There's the mirror!
Okay, so first thing you do is you go get that sword, right?
Yes. And then maybe consider Swamp. Swamp does have 6 items on the table. Or do you go up to fight Matila really quick, get that 5-6 crystal, and then maybe come back down to Swamp after that, then do Pyramid Fairy afterwards? There are some options now.
Well, there's one item left in Skullwoods, plus the 2 that you get on Pyramid Fairy, so that's 3, versus the 6 in Swamp Palace. So I think just from a pure numbers perspective, I think you do Swamp Palace.
Yeah, and that looks like what he is going to go for. But LewdDolphin did not pick up the sword first.
Nope, and Udai looks like he's going to go up and says, you know what, I don't want to get trolled again. I'm thinking. Maybe he's going up to do Catfish.
Looks like it. Now here's the thing with Lewd. Lewd will still be able to complete Swamp Palace. You don't need a sword to complete it, but having a sword will make things a lot more efficient going through here. Because you want to dash a lot in Swamp Palace. There's a lot of big rooms. You go faster in water when you're dashing, and there's a lot of enemies around. So if you have enemies around, and if you dash into them, you're not going to knock them out of the way like you would with a sword. So it's going to be slightly less efficient if Yuda does get a sword first before going here.
All right, and our Catfish has, drum roll, just a container.
Oh, Yuda hasn't checked this yet.
I mean, that makes sense if he hasn't checked up here quite yet. We'll see. I mean, if Udai go, she's got to be going south. The question is whether or not he's going to go over and get that sword.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, and you know, I really hate getting Mirror this late into a seed because of this, but there's a whole lot of mirror spots that just opened up now with that mirror acquisition. So there could very well be some items in those spots, and they're so hard to route in once you've already done quite a bit of the Dark World exploration.
Yep, you got that Cave 45 that's just north over here of Swamp Palace. You have the Graveyard Ledge, which is absolutely in logic now. We know the floating island has the powder. Now, it might be a nice get in terms of survivability here before too long.
Mm-hmm. There's also Checkerboard Cave, which is now available too.
Yeah, really wish we had that mirror earlier, but you know, they got enough stuff early.
And the thing is, like, that mirror was fully able to get very early on in the seed. Like, once we had Dark World access, we could get there. It was just lying on that pyramid the whole time.
It was what, about a 35-minute Dark World access, and we already had 3 crystals done. So
yeah, for about 50 minutes, we've been just kind of wandering around looking for the progression in other places, and it just did not show up. So sometimes that happens. Sometimes what you're looking for is a place you could have accessed so early on, but you always got drawn somewhere else. That's just the nature of Randomizer.
LewdDolphin going ahead and checking left side first. When you have multiple items waiting for go mode, it seems like it's a fine check. You don't want to do the full back end yet. However, our go mode is Bombos at this point in time, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe. Like, we will need like some other items to get sword upgrades potentially, but yeah, Bombos is the one big thing we're looking for. Getting Cape would be nice, because that would assure us a second sword upgrade and some invincibility and invisibility, as we've learned today from the names that are given on the pedestal and tablets.
And there's Bombos. So, and Big Key was on the left side, so it was absolutely required to go to the left side. And so
Mhm.
we're kind of in go mode.
Kind of. Like we said, sword upgrade still needed. In fact, both runners still need their first sword upgrade, which they know where it is. It's just decided to come here first, which is understandable. But yeah, we're basically kind of in go mode. We can work towards our way to the end. We might find one along the way.
Udai's skipping left side for now. I imagine he'll dip it again. He knows he's not going to get the big key. He knows there's at least one other item that's going to be over there, so he will absolutely. Okay, I can't say he will absolutely not skip it. There's
Sword!
a sword.
Giving each other the high five as they both exit and enter this room. Slashing their troubles away.
And now you can dash.
As we established, though, Udai will have to come back in here to get that Bombos medallion very, very soon if he wants to kind of stay with Lewd right now. Because, yeah, Lewd has... Basically, he is in go mode at this point because he knows where a sword upgrade is that he can get. At least I hope he remembers.
I tend to think he'll remember.
Yeah.
We've often using menu strats, hammering. This is kind of slow, but this is what we expected and what these runners were planning on having to do. Udai pulling two at a time, so he's going to be a little bit more efficient with this.
And Luke just finished up a game of hit the moving target with your bow and arrow. Gets a red rupee from Argus, and that is his 5th crystal.
5th crystal, you know where a sword is. It's right next door. You go ahead and head on over there, grab it. Skull Woods, Turtle Rock, call it good.
Pretty much. Udai were using fire rod strats for Argus. Got away from him though a few times, unfortunately.
So the one thing to note, if we find the cape in Skull Woods, for example, if Mothula is holding that cape, do you just dash over, grab that tempered sword, or do you go right to Turtle Rock?
Yes, definitely. I think only one of our runners knows about the tempered sword, though, and I want to say it's Luke. So, yeah, if you get the cape, get that tempered sword. It makes Ganon a whole lot faster.
Lewd is skipping left side. Or Yuda, I'm sorry, Yuda is skipping left side.
Dude, that is not good. Bombos is in Swamp Palace, so you will need that to get to Turtle Rock. And looks like he is going back over to Skull Woods now, too. Following in Lewd's footsteps, but unfortunately being one item short.
Unfortunately so, and that could mean I can easily foresee Yuda going ahead and dipping into Ice Palace once he realizes that, nope, the Bombos tablet or medallion is not going to be here, so he's going to be looking for that, and he's already gambled away from doing Swamp Palace. So I think he's done with that for a while.
Yeah, like you gotta imagine this from their viewpoint. There was not much left in Swamp Palace. You know, it's never good to leave items behind because if there is something there, you know, you could get burned just like this. But, you know, in their minds, like it can be a very statistical play because there could just easily be like a big 20 left in Swamp Palace. So, you know, it's kind of like, well, do I save time and skip this, or do I waste time and get that item? And, you know, one way is technically faster. It just happened to be the wrong play in this case.
Lewd, meanwhile, with Mothula kill and just 10 arrows.
Okay, so he is going to be on his way to Turtle Rock now.
Absolutely. Turtle Rock, I mean, I'm sure he's going to hope he picks up another sword here. Silvers are nice, but really, I'm sure he's hoping for a tempered sword. But at this point, even if you get the cape, you don't bother with that other sword.
Yeah, probably not. It's a hard call to make because you have to really think about it from your opponent's. Like, what do you think your opponent's done? And you just really don't know what he's done as well. Like, if you've seen that sword on Bumper Cave and you get the cape, you know, you're almost thinking, well, if I get that and he doesn't, I can maybe save a little bit of time, but you also don't know where he is either, so it's such a hard call to make.
All right, so Yuda getting his 6th crystal and thinking, oh man, I'm going to have to dip. I'm going to have to dip. And he can't dip Meyer, so he's probably on his way over to Ice Palace right now.
Ice Palace, he still has the last item in Thieves Town as well that he left behind.
He's thinking. He doesn't know what he wants to do.
He is going back to 4.
I mean, is he going back to Swamp?
If he does, that's good. Unfortunately, he is going to have to, like, put the water level back and do all the other stuff again. He is heading south.
I mean, it's the right play.
It is. It's definitely the right play.
Oh, but I have a hard time liking the play because you've already committed to gambling away left side, so this is just kind of hedging your bet. Commit to your gambles. It's the right play. I mean, it's a good thing for him, but
in terms of his other options, you know, it is probably like the quickest check he could get done really quick.
I mean, in chat pointing out, it's also entirely possible that he just now realizes and remembers that he skipped left side and counted and said, oh, there's 2 items that are missing here still.
Very true. I mean, there's a lot of things that go through your mind when you're running these seeds. It's like, as viewers and commentators, like, we see things from a much different perspective. We only see what we can see, and we don't have the pressure of racing against someone else, the pressure of, you know, a million people watching us and kind of almost judging our plays and everything. So, you know, that kind of messes with your mind sometimes, and it's easy to call something how it is, but there's so many other factors at play.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing. There's no right or wrong play per se when you're in Randomizer. It's just a good gamble or a bad gamble, and that's it.
And yes, chat, I said 1 million people, but you got to consider people watching this now, people who will watch VODs later. At some point, it'll amount to 1 million. So I'm just saying.
And I don't ever want to think about that. 1 million people ever watching me do a race, because that would be totally embarrassing. So Udai is going left side, which is wonderful for him. Lewd, meanwhile, stole the key. He got the big key earlier, so he's going to steal the key, see if he can skip the laser bridge. Although, it wouldn't be out of the question to go ahead and check laser bridge since you're already here, and you're still looking for a sword.
Yeah, I could find that sword upgrade that could help. Might find some health here and there that could restore your hearts if you're low. So there are reasons to check, but definitely, like I imagine a runner of Lewd's caliber will definitely just kind of keep things moving.
Alright, so Udai getting ready to be very upset with himself. I'm guessing at least 3 rage slashes. At least.
If I was running, I would have used the medallion immediately in a fit of rage, but seems at least a little collected. Gonna just take a few pauses, mirror out, and then move on, because he knows he's in a race. He's not gonna try to waste too much time with that, and flute right up there to Turtle Rock.
You kind of could feel what was going through his mind right there. He's like, what is that? Yep. Okay, yeah, I'm in go mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit, yeah, for sure.
He's getting his magic pots, and he's going to be on his way up to Turtle Rock. So he's about a half dungeon behind LewdDolphin right now.
And, you know, considering the circumstances, yeah, this is still a very, very close race. I think Lewd definitely has a significant advantage right now, but still, Udai is staying very, very close to him. He's going to be in the same dungeon by the time he's finishing, so...
All right, Lewd. Oh, he's gone. He's done.
Yeah.
He says, I got my key, I'm done.
Now, since Lewd does have the Master Sword, I can maybe see a possibility of being a little less, like, might use magic a bit more than you would otherwise, but no, okay, no, going to be efficient with this, going to go straight for hammer strats.
And using those hammer, and man, that's quick, and he's going to be able to keep the floor clean.
But yeah, if you have to use Master Sword strikes here, it's not too bad, because, you know, you have half magic, you have a lot of magic to work with.
And there he goes, avoiding those Trinex heads. Man, he's not taking any damage. He 2.5 hearts the whole time. This is a little bit scary.
Yeah, nice job, Lewd. Definitely glad we saw that, but not over yet. Ooh.
That was close.
That was close too. Oh my gosh, Lewd.
Man, making us sweat a little bit.
Indeed, indeed.
And with that, LewdDolphin picks up his 7th crystal. So, ladies and gentlemen of the speed gaming community, there's a little game we like to play right now. It is the Big Key guessing game for Ganon's Tower. There are 22 treasure chests in Ganon's Tower that can possibly contain the Ganon's Tower Big Key. If you are a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming network of channels or have donated at least 250 bits, you would be eligible for our leaderboard. So 1 through 22, go ahead, get your guesses in chat. What's going to be your guess, sir, Mr. Slim Kirby, sir?
I always guess chest number 8. That's always my go-to.
Well, I try to change it up every time I win, and I followed you for a long time with 8, but then I won, so I have to change it up.
That's fair.
So I'm actually on number 18 now. I'd like this seed to really pull these runners another direction right now.
Unfortunately, it looked like the bot did not get started, unfortunately. But still, like we'll still play it in our own way. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. That's my fault. Blame me.
But we'll still keep counts of it. We'll still keep counts of it. We are up to 3 now. Have not found any of the keys yet. Just rupees, actually. So.
So 4 is another key. 5 bomb upgrades. I would love to find the cape in here.
There it is. Number 6.
Number 6. Okay.
That is a really, really fast big key, considering. So, Lewd is going to be on his way to the top of Ganon's tower now. He has 2 small keys. Doesn't even have to really stop to find other ones. Can go straight to the top. Might still check the chest at the very top of the tower, see if he can maybe get that tempered sword. But yeah, he's going to be heading towards the finish line now as Eudai still making his way through to Turtle Rock. Going to need to get 2 more small keys before reaching the end. I think he will find them, though, I imagine.
And the first one in chat to guess 6 looks like it was Dark Misty. So I'm going to give you a call out there.
Oh, okay. So it looks like Eudai is going back to get a small key. Did not grab another one. So gonna have to go back through here to get another one.
Meanwhile, Lewd's having a pretty nice time with this gauntlet here.
Yeah, definitely. The gauntlet can be a very tough section of the game. There's a lot of enemies you have to destroy. You're on ice, conveyor belts, there's spikes in the room, BMOS. It can be really hard to nail down all these enemies, and it's all RNG on the enemies' movements too, so you get pretty much a different gauntlet experience every time you do it, but made it through there pretty well, especially with just Master Sword, using silver arrows to kind of work through some of the other tricky spots of that.
He's struggling a little bit here with Landmo, unfortunately.
Yeah, as you can see, whenever you use silver arrows, there is a little bit of lag that just might make you end up missing a Lamno snakehead.
And Eudai trades a key for a key, so wasting a little bit of time with that middle chest. And he's got to be careful. He's at 2 hearts, no magic. I really hope he doesn't take any more damage so he can get out the safety door.
I also hope he finds magic too, because he will need magic for the... Oh, okay, he's going to opt to use one of his potions, which definitely makes sense.
Lewd also needs to be careful at 1.5 hearts.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
This is... Oh!
The save right there.
This boy has some brass on him, for sure. That was clutch.
Yeah, because no matter what, you were taking 1 damage from that fire bar. If you fell in the pit afterwards, that's another heart of damage, and he did not have enough to survive that. So really, really nice use of the potion at the very last frame there.
Woo! Alright, Lewd checking these last few chests, still hoping for a tempered sword. I don't think anyone really wants to do Master Sword Ganon if they could avoid it.
Definitely not. Also, the fact you do not have cape for it either, just because with Cane of... Oh, you don't have Cane either, never mind. But yeah, so have to be very careful in the Ganon fight as it is.
Looks like Yuda is actually going to use the safety wall and might be checking the other 2 treasure chests in the laser bridge that we did not get a chance to see, and 300 rupees that will not get spent.
Okay, so looks like Lewd is going to be going through Agatsu and Ganon with just Master Sword. Thankfully has silvers for the last phase of Ganon, so it won't be as bad as it could be, but let's see how he does in the Agatsu fight.
That looked like it might have been a triple, and if they didn't hit all at the same time. Alright, so Yudai finding just bombs, so I didn't really find a whole lot of anything.
Lewd's gotten a couple of singles here.
And it looks like the Ganon, or the Agats, are now a little bit desynced.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a nice diagonal shot.
Oh, yeah. Lewd seems to know his geometry a little bit.
Alright, he's got a Master Sword, silvers, half magic, and a couple more potions. We are on our way over to Mr. Blue Bacon himself, Ganon.
And Yudai having a boss fight of his own as he is duking it out with Trinex now.
And Ganon asking all the philosophical questions of our time.
Was it the refrigerator one?
It was the refrigerator one.
Of course.
He's getting some good positioning from Ganon, being able to get a couple spins at a time on him. This is actually kind of ideal positioning for Ganon at this point.
Yeah, double hits are very vital in these Ganon fights. Can just save a lot of time, especially if you have to do Master Sword Ganon.
Oh, these fire bats hurt though, so you got to be a little bit careful.
Great use of the hook shot though, and kind of mitigating some damage. Gonna use... Ooh! Okay, that was close. It does get the potion in.
Lewd just likes to make us sweat a little bit, doesn't he? Oh, this is
I've
ideal
noticed
positioning.
that. Also, nice fight from Yudai on Trinex. Gets his 7th crystal. Going to be heading over to Ganon's tower next.
Alright, moving on to phase 3 now for LewdDolphin.
Just 4 spins to move on to the final phase, so not as bad as the previous 2.
No, absolutely not. And Ganon is going to be terrible for us. Teleporting around. Did we find the arrows in the light world? Yup, we sure did.
Yeah, your bottle vendor had them.
Oh, man.
He did something really good right there. He let go of the directional pad when he got hit, because sometimes if you do not let go of that directional pad, it can just knock you right off with a weird bounce back. So thankfully Lewd mitigated that with stop moving the controller as he hits the final silver arrow hit on Ganon, finishing up the fight and finishing this race in first place.
Yes, and GG. He has an official speed racing TV time of 1:49.42. GG, LewdDolphin.
Yeah, get your GGs in chat, everyone. Not sure how he feels. If he comes in for an interview, we will actually inquire about that, but my gosh, having to go through all that he did, even an extra dip through Ice Palace. Very late sword upgrade. Very nicely done.
Absolutely. This was effectively a swordless scene until the very end. I mean, we had, I think, what was it? 5 dungeons that you completed without a sword, and then you got one right at the very end.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's the way it went. And to think, if you would have gotten that mirror as soon as you went to Dark World and went straight to Swamp Palace, you could have been in go mode so soon.
Well, and that's what happens in Rando sometimes, is you just got to deal with it.
That's very true.
Meanwhile, we see Udai is in Mimic Cave room. Oh, he's getting trolled by these spikes.
Seemed like that 5 arrow drop was also taunting him a little bit as well.
He's got 49 arrows right now. He's all right.
Yeah, I know, but that spike pushing him out of the way and forcing him to lose those arrows, it's like saying, oh, you might need these. I'm going to keep trolling you until you pick these up.
Meanwhile, Udai is starting his ascent right now. Did not have to dip any further.
Got a very funny question in chat from our winner of this race, LewdDolphin. There were swords in the scene? I mean, yeah, there were a few, I guess.
Well, we found 3 total.
1 unable to be gotten, and the other 2 were essentially mirror blocked behind Swamp Palace and Hylia, but yeah, there were some, not a lot.
And GG LewdDolphin, he's in chat. I think we're waiting on some audio switching before he joins us. He doesn't want to echo. We appreciate you, LewdDolphin. But man, do we have some questions for you.
Seems like Udai had a very clean Lamno 2 fight right there, though. Really nice.
Oh, absolutely. And the broken heart sleeps again forever. Aw.
Yeah, they make that so sad. Like, that's very sad.
All right, so Udai is in, trying to set up apparently the worst room in the game, because everyone seems to be having some troubles with this one today.
Yeah, seems like it. Okay, I'm glad he got in the door in time. It was getting kind of close to the end there, it seemed like.
Absolutely was.
Yeah, I'm really curious with where the cape was in this particular scene.
Yeah, it's, at this point, it could be probably somewhere here in Ganon's Tower. We've checked most other places, although we didn't touch Misery Mire at all. We also didn't touch
Yeah.
Checkerboard Cave, Cave 45, Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, a lot of mirror spots were definitely left behind. I don't think Mimic Cave was checked either. Ooh. Oh. Right after he saved himself, he gets knocked again, unfortunately.
Man, Moldorm's on a mission today. He's just dive bombing you.
Yeah, I think both runners actually got down the first Moldorm just fine. So Moldorm was like, I'm tired of being pushed around, so I'm going to push you around for a change.
I mean, standing up to yourself a little bit, but you're kind of the bad guy, so don't.
Yeah, just don't. Okay, so let's see how Yudai does for the Aga 2 fight here.
We'll see if Yuda gets kind of the same desync issues that Lewd ran into there at the end of the Aga fight.
Does get a double to start with. Then a single.
This looks like already we got some desync.
Does seem to be a faster Aga fight overall, though, so definitely props to him.
Absolutely. 1.5 hearts, though. I think you've already seen the done. Go for safety. Go down and get the ferry, maybe.
Do we know how his potion situation is? Does he still have something in reserves, or?
Not entirely sure.
Oh, okay, he's going down. He's gonna grab that ferry. Makes sense.
Or going to die first?
That's the thing about those Dark World enemies. They do quite a bit of damage, even with Red Mail, so...
It looked like he walked right into it, honestly.
Oh. I guess it could have been intentional. Maybe one to go to... I mean, he could have mirrored, I guess, but... Looks like he is going to be picking up some more potions, though. Because Master Sword Ganon is no joke.
Yeah, you got silvers, but it's still not terribly fun. Meanwhile, we do have LewdDolphin now joining us. GG. Nope, he's having some mic issues. He's in the channel, though, so he can hear us, and as soon as he's ready.
As soon as he is ready and gets things taken care of, we will talk to him.
Yeah, because we have some questions. Most of them good.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
There
we
you
can.
are.
Okay. I don't know why Discord didn't, use the right mic. Hello.
Yeah, Discord does that sometimes.
Well, GG, Mr. LewdDolphin. How you feeling after that scene?
I liked the first half. Then the quest for the mirror was annoying.
So I gotta ask you, because you you made kind of an unconventional play, which I loved, by the way. You did Eastern Palace and did all that clearing out prior to doing Kakariko. Seemed like you were kind of happy with that play until you saw everything that was also in Kakariko.
Well, wasn't there only like the hook shot in Kakariko?
Hammer was there too, I believe.
Oh yeah, hook shot and hammer. That's right. But that was okay because I mean, I went to Death Mountain before I checked that, but that unlocks the warp spot for Death Mountain, so it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like I could get into Hera and then realize, oh, I got all the items, but I can't beat Moldorm.
Mm-hmm.
So our tracker is actually pointing out it had hammer, hookshot, silvers, and ice rod.
Oh, well, the ice rod doesn't matter. The silvers would have been nice against Armos, but it doesn't really matter too much unless you fail at the fast kill like I did, but...
Yeah, and another thing we definitely pointed out was that even though like you were missing, hammer and hookshot, two very good early items to get, you were making progress by doing all the checks you were making. I mean, 3 crystals done around the 30-minute mark is not something you see very often, and you were on your way to making this a very, very fast seed. It's just those sword upgrades in the mirror just kind of prolonged it by such a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind swordless seeds, but I do get annoyed when like the items I need are in the last possible spots.
Mm-hmm.
And I was down to catfish and a pyramid at that point. And I was trying, like, I was originally going to check pyramid and catfish after clearing pod, but then I decided to route to Hype Cave in Southern Dark World and then Village of Outcasts. And then I was going to check pyramid once I got 5-6, because of course I'll get a sword by that point. But that didn't work out.
Yeah, not here. The only swords that were available that we could see at least were the ones on Lake Hylia and Bumper Cave, and there was no way we were going to get them with those items that we had. So, yeah, you were unfortunately lucked out from getting any of them until you got the mirror.
So I want to ask you about another point in the match that really had me clutching my chest a little bit. That lantern room in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that if I got hit by the fire bar and I fell into the pit, that would be game over. So I said to myself, I'll just not get hit. So of course I can't navigate the ledge, and I almost fall in, and I get hit by the fire bar, and I panic into the potion, but I fortunately, used it in time. I didn't want to use it too early, I guess. I don't know. I'm very, very much an RPG player with, I gotta save the potions for emergencies, and then you realize later, oh, this was actually an emergency. But it's not it's not a high enough emergency.
Oh, you'd have taken a death, getting stunned with a Ganon Crush and having a fire bat just fall right to his face.
But yeah, as you can see from your opponent right now, unfortunately was unable to find any of the other swords, never found the cape, so that third sword on Bumper Ledge was not going to be acquired, and we assume the other sword upgrade is probably either in Ganon's Tower or Misery Mire. But my gosh, for the early part of this seed, you guys took such different routes. You obviously going to Eastern from the get-go, and Udai going to Kakariko immediately. And it seemed like the routes were never going to converge again, because you kept finding different things. You kept going in different directions. But at the end of the day, it actually got really close. Both of you were in Swamp Palace at around the same time. He kind of got some distance back since he went into Ice Palace, and he didn't. He actually avoided the Ice Palace checks. And unfortunately, one of the big things that happened was he actually noped out of Swamp Palace after Argus to get the sword upgrade without the Bombos medallion. So he had to go back in later. Didn't waste a whole lot of time. He went back there immediately after finishing Skullwoods, but that did kind of sink a bit of time, and that's pretty much the difference between you two guys. It was a really close race.
Yeah, the I always full clear swamp because I feel like the cost of having to go back in is too steep. It is a little bit mitigated now that the first flooded room is permanently filled once you flood it, but I can't just leave a chest in there.
Yeah, for sure.
And having the big key on left side and Bombos in the big chest, that's definitely on the more annoying item placements.
Yeah, for sure.
So as you were climbing Ganon's tower, how worried were you? You had silvers, but Master Sword still isn't very much fun there. Were you feeling like you were behind, ahead, thinking maybe I should go search for another sword, or what was going through your head there?
I felt like I lost when I got mirror when I did, because I was trying to go through my mind and think to myself, like, if I had gotten that mirror earlier, or if my opponent had gotten mirror earlier, what advantages would that have given me or him or whatever? Mitts in Thieves Town, at least, is a little bit of a nice item placement versus the mirror. Like, people who wouldn't want to check Pendant Thieves Town would get screwed. But anyway, like, mirror in the last possible spot, I felt super behind. I was climbing GT. I had to close the Chrome window so I wouldn't see my opponent finish because I didn't want to stress myself out any further. And I'm comfortable enough with Ganon, especially with red mail and 3 blue potions, that I could take him on with Master Sword. Silvers helps tremendously, of course. Having a cape would have been a little nicer for that, but if I had the cape, I would have had Tempered Sword too. So
Yeah, really. Yeah, like we were definitely saying that because of just the Ice Palace dip by itself, like, you know, we had to figure that you must have felt behind after such a late mirror. And where the mirror was, you could have gotten that as soon as you entered Darkwood, because it was right there on the pyramid the whole time. And it's just interesting to think how fast the seed would have been if, like, someone did go to the pyramid and check swamp immediately. That would have been like such a fast go mode at that point.
right.
But no, both you and your opponent did take pretty much the same amount of time in finding that mirror. I think as you were getting the mirror, he was on his way to the pyramid, so you were like, it was literally that close at that point on. You were both looking for that same progression.
Well, at least we were both equally screwed by that mirror.
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel like most of my losses in the Swiss tournament has been, or the Swiss stage of the tournament has been due to poor item placements and them being in the last spots that I check versus, like, I've been having close matches with my opponents, and it comes down to, like, I go to Turtle Rock, my opponent goes to Ice Palace, and he gets the boots from Ice Palace, sorts of things.
Right.
So
yeah, that's unfortunately just a part of Randomizer, especially in a race format like this. Sometimes just a slight divergence can be the difference between a match result. Yeah, that's in the Swiss stage where you're getting a bunch of runners who are at equal skill levels. It's really hard to come out on top in a lot of these races. So definitely GG on getting the win here.
yeah, and GG to Yuta as well. Hopefully he finishes. Hopefully he can do
he's
it.
on phase 3 now, and he's still got a potion to go. So
All right, good. Yeah, the trickiest part of Master Sword Ganon, of course, is the first 2 stages.
Yeah, another complete testament to what we were talking about earlier is during the whole match, chat was honestly surprised that you, with like the execution you've shown throughout this seed, that surprised to see that you were even 2 and 3 going into this match.
Yep, it's because of Rando.
Yep, exactly. That's the way it is.
I mean, that's just the nature of Rando, and I think there's a lot of good runners who are unfortunately going to be out of the tournament, out of the brackets stage of the tournament. But we still got another week to go.
Yep. And then there's always the next tournament. and the one after
Exactly.
that, and the one after that, and the one after that.
We would be so blessed if we kept on going as long as that.
I will keep randoing until I'm the only person left interested in rando, and then I'll win by default.
I mean, that's one way to get your name on there, I suppose.
That's commitment right there. I don't know about you. That's commitment.
I mean, I'll show you how easy it is to win the tournament. All right, signups for the tournament are live and they're ending now. The only participant is Lewd, and he wins. Yay!
Yay! Meanwhile, Yuda does finish up his Ganon fight, steps into the Ganon room, sub 2 hours and 10 minutes, and looks like he has an official SRTV time of 2 hours. I'm sorry, 10 minutes. Sorry about that, guys.
And joining us is eudaimonistic. GG, sir.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How did you enjoy that 10-hour seed?
That's quiet.
Yeah, 10 hours is about right. It seemed like forever. I mean, when did you find your mirror? It took me 1 hour and 20 minutes to remember the pyramid.
We apparently found it at about the same time.
Yep, you were Yuda. You were literally like 30 seconds after your opponent found it.
It's just a crummy place because, I mean, we could have accessed that. I mean, even before we had the Moon Pearl, we could technically get there. Or no, we needed the hammer.
Well, Hammer was in Kakariko though, so.
No, I mean, but you can't use it with that Moon Pearl.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, that was what an adventure.
Yeah, let me just kind of lay out how it went for you, Yuda. Like, Lewd made crazy gambles to start off with. He got out of the escape sequence, did Houlihan, and then said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go to Eastern. Forget Kakariko.
Wow.
Yeah, I checked Kakariko at like 28 minutes.
Well, I think that's right around when I was starting to do my basically vanilla light world, because we went to Eastern, Desert, then Hera in a row.
Yeah, I think Lewd did Eastern and then went to Desert, and then before he went up to do Death Mountain, he ended up going over and having to do Kakariko, and then it was Hera.
Yeah, that was one thing we didn't comment on. Lewd was able to get a bomb out of Escape, so he was able to get the bow immediately, and that's kind of what pushed him to Eastern from the get-go. You unfortunately did not get a bomb, and because of the Power Glove location, we were really worried that you were going to end up checking Eastern and having to double dip it, but thankfully you kind of delayed that and decided to go back to the escape sequence and get that bow first. So that was actually a really good call to get that done.
Yeah, I got really lucky with finding that Power Glove, because, I mean, the second that I realized, oh god, Fire Rod Seed, like, if I don't find this bomb, and I tried to, like, condense my kills as much splash damage as I could, but throwing pots, no avail.
Your opponent actually used a very interesting strat of using the bee that you got in the bottle from the very beginning in the ring of the snakes.
Turns out the bee doesn't do damage if he's off screen, and he only wanted to attack the snakes that were off screen. But
that's rough. But I mean, still a really smart idea.
Yeah, you got a few kills out of it at least, and did save magic enough to get the bomb kill you needed. So still kind of worked.
I'll tell you though, I was so excited about finding my first sword in Swamp. Like an hour and a half into the seed, it felt like, that I went right to Skull Woods, forgetting almost the other half of Swamp Palace. It would have been like another half an hour if I forgot that.
I was going to ask you about that, because you had skipped left side, and you had the big key that led to Bombos, which was the rest of Gomo. We were like, what's going on?
Well, I mean, I remembered it, but like only immediately after I was like, oh wait, Mothula had nothing. But yeah, normally I would just go right back into Swamp. That was what I intended to do the first time. But like I said, that sword, I saw it and I'm just like, oh god. Mm-hmm. Well, so when did you find your first sword, Lewd?
There was one in Swamp, right?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
only one. Did you ever end up with more than Master Sword?
Nope.
We
I
do
did
know
not find Cape.
Yeah, we do know there was one on Bumper Cave that I believe Lewd at least checked. Yuda, I don't know if you ever walked over there to check that.
No, I never saw it.
But we
That
have no
being
idea where
said,
that
though,
fourth
Cape
one was.
was at Ether.
I think that was Cane of Burna.
Yeah, that was.
Oh,
Burma.
yeah.
We,
I don't
we-
think
we
any
had
of us saw Cape then.
No, neither of you did. We were having a nice little discussion about whether it was Cape or Kane. I think we came to the conclusion that Cape says invisible, and then Kane says invincible. So
Sounds about right to me.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Tell you what, though, I wish I had spent some more time practicing Master Sword Ganon. It's not like I don't know how it works, but gosh, that was rough.
it's a rough fight. So it's very understandable.
I think I almost died there too, and I had another panic potion moment there.
Yeah, you did. Like right when you were hook shotting, I believe you. It looked like a bat was about to hit you, but thankfully you gained control just in time.
I think both of you had several panic potion moments where you, like, right in the last frame or so, you need over. I need to go take some more blood pressure medicine after watching you two go through this.
But yeah, really interesting seed. It's again good to. It's interesting to think about how fast this could have been completed with just that early Dark World Mirror location that just unfortunately ended up being like the last thing you both checked. But that, man, you guys were just getting value nonstop at the very beginning of the seed. Kakariko was stacked, and even Lewd, despite kind of skipping Kakariko, was still getting items as he was going like throughout Eastern and all the early Light World dungeons. So it was just really, like, we were just wondering like if this was going to be even faster than the race that just came off the air like a hour
I saw
or two.
It was on
So,
this
yeah.
channel, too.
Yeah, this channel. So
Yeah, but Book in Eastern, Boots in Desert. By the way, both of those locations absolutely absurd. I'm just like, well, I'm gonna see if it's boot locked, and then I go next door. I'm like, oh, it's not.
I mean, well, technically, like, the first chest wasn't a key, so yes, it's boot locked, but it was the boots. So, yeah, as I entered Desert, I thought, if boots are in Eastern and this is boots locked, or not Eastern, if boots were in CAC and I skipped them and I entered Desert and it's boots locked, this is certainly a disadvantage. But then I got the boots. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm clearing this dungeon too.
Well, hey, it's a crystal. Might as well, all right?
I felt really good though about all the use of the hook shot, all the use of the fire rod. The Gina's check for half magic felt amazing until I never used it.
I mean, I emptied my magic at one point, but that was for fake powder, so.
Oh, you found the mushroom? Where was that?
It was in ice.
Oh, geez, I never went into ice.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the only thing you found in ice, and then it was a complete dud.
And then the witch had the validation arrow.
Yeah, that was kind
Good
of
for you.
insulting, I think.
I almost picked up that powder too on Floating Island going into GT, but I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna get that sword. It's not gonna be necessary. 14 hearts, red mail, and then go figure. I probably paid for it, but I never found net, so I guess it didn't matter that much.
Yeah, not really. I mean, and again, at least it kind of gave you both some, Master Sword Ganon practice. That's why I try to look at it anyway. It's like, even if it's kind of a rough experience, at least it's practice for the future.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun and greatly appreciate LewdDolphin for agreeing to schedule this at this time, because I know you were just coming back from RPG Limit Break, and you had a run there as well that looked really interesting to watch. So if you guys haven't checked that out, take a look at that in their VODs.
Yeah, it was actually 1 week ago, basically right at this time, so go and watch it if you like Lightning Returns. Cricket.
Nah, again, GG to both of you. Really good run. Great race to watch for sure.
Thanks for the race,
Yeah.
Lewd. GG.
GG, Yuda. Eudaimonistic.
That'll work. That'll work.
I saw that pronunciation guide in the chat, and I love it.
Now I gotta watch this VOD.
Eudaim-
Plus, I mean, I had the Stellar Vitasia and Slim Kirby on my comms, so I mean, whew, somebody loves me.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. I mean, yeah, Slim. I could get excited about Slim, but
Oh, come on, you're good. You're good too, Vitasia.
Everyone here is outstanding. Chat, you should give literally everyone here a follow. Like, any username you've ever seen, give them a follow. They're a great person.
That's the best way to have it described. I use way too many words.
Well, we're really feeling all the love here in Link to the Past Randomizer. But I think we are going to start maybe wrapping this up. Got some other races going on today that you guys might be interested in watching. So going to very quickly just run down what's kind of going on right now and coming up. There's currently a race going on Speed Gaming 1. It's Edgeworth versus a Yutsuvin. So if you want to go over there and check that out, it's currently going on. Just started about 25 minutes ago. And there's also another race on this channel. Once again, Speed Gaming 3 getting a lot of action tonight. At 8 p.m., so at the top of the hour, we got Alucard 2004 versus B-. So definitely come back to check that out as well. I want to give a huge thank you to our tracker for this race, Iceman F1. Really appreciate you keeping us up to date with the tracker and having that on display for all of our viewers. And last but not least, I want to thank my co-com partner, Vitasia. It's always a joy working with you and always a pleasure. So thank you for being on this race with me. And here's to more commentary and more rando in the future.
oh, you're too kind. Everyone, shout out to Slim Kirby as well. I do not get to come with you nearly enough. I always have a great time with you, sir.
For sure. So, yep, as I said, all those races are coming up. If you like what you see from this randomizer tournament or other speed gaming tournaments, make sure you follow the Speed Gaming channel, Speed Gaming 1 through 6, as well as the ALTTP randomizer channels as well, ALTTP randomizer 1 through 4. And yeah, come back for some more randomizer in the future. This is Slim Kirby signing out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Good night, all.
Take it easy.